The most fundamental and first step to take in tackling or in building our P and K levels on farm is to have our nutrient management plan completed on a yearly basis. So that's done every early spring with our Teagasc advisor. My approach with soil fertility starts with a soil test. When I first came here 3 years ago, the first thing we undertook was to do a full soil test across the whole farm to identify where our soil nutrient levels lie and to be able to pull together a plan to start tackling our most limiting factors. At the get-go, we have relatively low soil fertility here on the farm, but the most limiting factor and the most cost-effective thing to tackle first was the pH of the soils. So we started off with spreading lime, and we have probably spread over 190 tonne of lime to date over the last 3 years. I've seen significant improvements since starting the liming program. The most noticeable thing is when I first go out with application of nitrogen or my P's and K's. Before, with lower pHs, the response was just that little bit slower. I would get a response, but I can definitely see the difference, and particularly see the difference in growth rates, early growth rates from applications of fertilizers after spreading lime. Building P and K on farm, we're pretty much in index 1s and 2s for both across the farm, and it is a difficult task to do, particularly with low cash flows at present on the farm, but I suppose we're targeting little and often with P's and K's to ensure that the grass has what it needs. And then to add to that as well, I've undertaken the P allocation course to give myself extra P allocation to help build P. And I've also got the opportunity to import some dairy slurry locally that will allow me then to build my P's and K's in a little bit more of a cost-effective manner. Priority would be given to silage fields for raising the indexes for P and K first, generally because this is where the silage is coming off, so that's where the slurry needs to go back on. I get the most response as well from building those indexes on the silage first and foremost, and then as money allows, we'll build P and K in the grassland. And if we take surplus silage off our grazing ground, we will go out with slurry after that as well to replenish any nutrients that we're taking off. Silage production on farm, I have 2 separate systems for silage production here on farm. I have your more traditional grass silage based systems, which would be targeted towards my suckler cows, and then I have red clover silage ground, which would be targeted towards my young stock. For the grass silage, we are looking at 100 units of nitrogen, 20 units of P and 100 units of K applied before first cut. That's an amalgamation of cattle slurry, 0730 and protected urea plus sulphur to build up to our requirements. And then on the red clover silage ground, we're just going with our cattle slurry to back onto the ground after each cut to maintain and build the soil fertility in those. So there's no nitrogen applied to those at all.